Netflix, you don't need cable. I'm on YouTube, welcome to the hood table. But we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little. Get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content. Got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation. Bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table.
Hey.
You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Make sure you click the like button on your way in. Make sure you click the like button on your way in. Make sure you share the live out if you can, if you want. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the Hood Table. We're on IG, Instagram. That is IG and Instagram. Okay, that's the same thing. Okay, we're on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Hood Table. Click the join button, and I will add you to our private Facebook group where we talk about anything and everything from the Hood Table to the White House. We talk about any and everything on the Hood Table in our private Facebook group. So feel free to join that if you like. But as you can see on the title of the show, it is called Blackouts, Power Outages, and Underlying Conditions. Now, you guys probably know what each one of those mean. Blackouts regarding, I guess there was supposed to be a blackout with everybody who is protesting. We were supposed to be doing a blackout. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people put a black picture up for their profile pics on Facebook. I don't know if that was done on IG and Twitter as well, but I have been seeing a lot on Facebook. I haven't really been on IG and Twitter as of late. I just mainly been on Facebook. I know some of my peeps, they have blacked out their pictures, but I must have been a little bit confused because I actually thought blackout meant we was not going to be supporting certain businesses or certain companies. I don't know. But from the looks of it, I guess blackout for some people was just putting up a black picture on their profile pic. So y'all let me know because I was so confused. I was like, okay, we having a blackout. I guess we just gonna not support or not buy certain things from certain places. I don't know. So anyway, I've been dealing with a whole bunch of stuff lately, like the blackout. Speaking of the blackouts, the blackout was supposed to be Blackout Tuesday. And again, from what I have read, and I'm going to pull it up right here, because from what I have read, Blackout Tuesday meant that, hold on. Okay. When I have looked up Blackout Tuesday, it says something about music companies. One initiative seeks to redress the historical inequities of the music business by declaring Tuesday to be a one-day moratorium on business as usual, alternately known as the show must be paused, Blackout Tuesday, and Blackout Tuesday as a means of identifying with protesters and considering how the music, the business can, what else do I say? I guess this has to do with some record labels. They said some labels have voiced support for the campaign, such as IGA, a group of record companies that include Interscope, Geffen, and AMM. The Apollo Theater even rescheduled a fundraiser planned for the venue from Tuesday to Thursday. Warner Music Group plans to use the day to collectively reflect on ways to put action towards change and promise. We will be contributing to Black Lives Matter and other organizations that are doing crucial work to combat racial injustice. Spotify announced that it would be taking part in the campaign as well, matching donations made by employees to groups that campaign for social justice and blacking out the logos of popular playlists such as Today's Top Hits and Rap Caviar. So on that last part, a lot of people did black out their profile pics on Facebook, I believe Twitter, and I also believe on IG as well. So those are some of the people who did the Blackout Tuesday. Now, what was so crazy though, today is Thursday. What was so crazy though was on Blackout Tuesday here in my hometown in Omaha, Nebraska, Blackout Tuesday ended up being a lot of people actually dealing with no electricity. It was almost 2,000 people who didn't have electricity on Tuesday. Now, on Wednesday, which was last night, I was supposed to go live with somebody here locally in my town. And they are running, you know, they're a political figure, and they're running to replace somebody in the Senate. And I was supposed to interview them 7 p.m. yesterday. It was so crazy because around 6:15 p.m., all the power in our neighborhood went off. And I was like, what is this about? Yesterday, like almost 2,000 people was without power on Blackout Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, thousands more were without power, and I was one of them. And being that we have to stream to do our shows and we need internet and power, I had to cancel the show. So, you know, the person who I was interviewing, they was cool with it because they've been campaigning every day. They've been interviewing day, night, you know, attending the rallies, the protests, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure they could probably have used that break yesterday. And we have been doing videos after videos. We have been protesting. We've been at rallies, and I posted some of the footage from the ones we've been at. And so yeah, yesterday, maybe that was just a day for us to just take a break from everything and rest. But then I hear about, hold on, let me pull this up. George Floyd. Now, where I put in the title underlining conditions, George Floyd, there yesterday, hold on. Yesterday. Now, before yesterday, the media, the police, the medical examiners, they had put out that George Floyd had some underlying health conditions that could have contributed to his death or the cause of his death. Now, of course, a lot of people were speculating, like, is this something to cover up the fact that he was indeed killed, murdered by the police? Even if he did have underlying health conditions, underlying medical factors, he still was killed by the police. So I don't be understanding, like, these people, I don't know if they think we're dumb, we're all idiots, but it got to be something. It got to be something. We sat there and watched a man die. We watched a man die, and then they want to come back and give the man third degree. Well, it's been moved up now, but at that time they gave him third degree charges, and then they want to come and say he had underlying health issues after they gave the man at first, you know, Derek Chauvin, after they gave him at first third degree charges. Like, it seemed like they was already trying to get him off. They charged him at the bottom. Now, they did say that eventually, you know, if after they do more investigation, maybe take a look at more pictures, more video footage that people might, you know, still turn in, that the charges could be upped. The charges did get upped to second degree, which I am happy about. I knew they would never get as high as, you know, first degree, because of the simple fact that everybody knows with first degree murder, you usually got to have murder on your mind, or somebody, the person that ended up dead, you usually have to have them on your mind. You're set from the jump before you even react, before you even leave from where you are, before you even jump in your car, before before you even come in contact with that person, you already determined that that person is going to die. So it would be really, really hard for them to prove that this police officer, when he first got the call or before he got the call to go to a particular scene, that he was determined to kill whoever it was. Because at the time, even though we know that there's some kind of relation between George and Derek, at the time, Derek, the cop, didn't know who he was going to arrest or who he was going to question or who was he had no idea. He just knew that there was a call made that somebody is trying to pass off counterfeit money, trying to cash a counterfeit check, something like that. And so they would probably never be able to prove that it was first degree. So I'm kind of glad that they are at the second. Well, I guess I am really glad. I was kind of glad with the third degree. Now I'm more, we're more happy. A lot of people are more happy with the outcome. Well, I won't even say the outcome because we really don't know what the outcome is going to be right now, because we done seen it time and time again where cops and other people just continually get a slap on the wrist, get probation, or just lose their job, got to pay some type of fine, for a murder crime or somebody being seriously injured. So with that being said, I am glad that they upped the charges. I am also glad that they pressed charges on the other three people. The other three people. Let me pull that up right now. I got all these screens up for all these different let's see. Should I read the one on the New York Times? No, that was about 3 days ago. I want to read something a little bit more current. Okay. Now they're saying that it was 9 minutes at first. First I thought it was 10 minutes. Now then they said it was 9 minutes. Now they pinned it to 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That's how long that George was laying on the ground, handcuffs with his arms behind his back, with two men on his lower body, and one man's knee on his neck. They said 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That was the exact time. Now, the other three men that did get arrested, that was there, including the Asian man, Chow or Bao, whatever his name is, they have been charged. A judge on Thursday, which is today, set bail for three former Minneapolis police officers charged in George Floyd's death at $1 million each, or $750,000 under certain conditions, including that they do not work for law enforcement or have any contact with Floyd's family. Now, why would they work in law enforcement if they've been fired? Why would that stipulation even be added? Now I can see telling them they can't have any contact with Floyd, who get arrested, get locked up. Sometimes some threats get out to the people who are pressing charges. And why they would say, they don't want the officers to have any contact with George Floyd's family. Okay, I don't know what happened, y'all. I don't know what happened. I don't know where I was. I think I accidentally backed out of the live accidentally. I don't know. But anywho, I don't know where I was. But matter of fact, let me see. See, this what you do. When you lose your place, all you have to do is pull up your video on your cell phone. All you have and just rewind it a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Okay. So I think I kind of figured out where I left off at. But okay, sorry about the live tripping. I don't know what's going on. But anywho, what I was saying before the live interrupted me and went blank. The three guys who were arrested, Jay Alexander Kwong, Thomas Lane, and Tao Thao, appeared in court one day after they were arrested and charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. The charges follow those first brought against Derek Chauvin, the main officer who had his knee pinned to Floyd's neck while Floyd was on the ground with his handcuffs behind him in his back and with two other officers on his lower part of his body and with Tao Thao up there standing guard. Chauvin, who was arrested last week, was charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter, but on yesterday, prosecutors charged him with a more serious count of second-degree murder. Thank God, because again, that first-degree murder, I highly doubt, I really seriously doubt that would not have stuck. But Lane and Kwong helped restrain Floyd while Thao stood nearby on the lookout, again, making sure nobody would jump in, and he was also trying to block cameras, but that didn't work because it was clearly visible before he even tried to jump in front of the camera what was going on, and other people had their cameras out as well. Now, all three officers appeared before the judge wearing orange prison uniforms and masks. Each stood inside a cubicle at a downtown Minneapolis courtroom with a plexiglass window providing a hole for them to speak through. I'm sure they would have never thought they would have been on the other side of the jail before now. Thao appeared first. His lawyer noted that Thao provided a statement to the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and turned himself in when an arrest warrant was issued. Attorneys for the other two defendants worked to contrast their clients' experience as police officers with Chauvin, who spent more than 18 years with the Minneapolis Police Department. But yeah, basically, they said they had a 20-year cop in the front and my guy in the back there for 4 days, Gray said after his court appearance. I don't know what you're supposed to do to a cop. When asked by CNN whether he was implying Lane was following orders, Gray said no. But his client thought that what he was doing was right. Gray said because Chauvin refused to turn Floyd on his side after Lane asked if they should. So basically, yeah, they were following directions. Like we had been saying that they were following directions. Yes, they were following directions. Derek Chauvin, he had the control of all these three officers. And remember when we was talking about this a few days back, we said, I wonder if those other police officers didn't turn him over, didn't forcefully push him off of his neck, didn't try nothing, because maybe this officer been in the field for all these years, umpteen years. He got more seniority than us, and we need to follow his lead. That's what we was talking about a few days ago. Then come to find out now, Lane, one of the cops, who helped hold him down, he's saying that he asked Derek Chauvin, should we turn the man over? And Derek Chauvin said no. Now, them other two cops, I'm not going to call them idiots because I know they knew that what he was doing, leaning on his neck like that with his knee, could cause great harm great harm to George. So I'm not gonna call them idiots, but what I'm gonna call them is cowards. I'm gonna call them cowards, including Thou that was standing out in front trying to hide the cameras and trying to keep people from helping. He was a coward as well. That's what I'm going to call him. So I'm glad all three of the officers has been charged. Again, I don't know if it was more proof that came in, more camera footage, more pictures, more witnesses. I don't know if and you never know. It could be Derek Chauvin, like we were saying a few days back, that some of them officers, the other three, before they were charged, we were saying, oh, somebody gonna talk, somebody gonna, because they know that they were probably gonna be charged because they know that the people, the community, we wanted charges on their head. So they already knew. So they could have been talking already to lawyers, talking about, what they gonna do, what they gonna say. Like Lane, he done came out now and said that Derek Chauvin, when they said, should we turn George over? Should you get your knee off his neck? Should we turn him over? And Derek said, no. So again, I call them cowards because anybody looking at anybody kneeling on somebody's knee with their entire body, had his hands in his pockets on his hips, with his whole body thrust forward like he was proud. Like he was so proud. He wanted to be seen. He was so proud. He wanted to be on camera. He wanted to let people know that this is what he's doing and can't nobody stop him. So the other cops just stood there and let him do what he did. And again, I think it was because this man has seniority, and I think this man, Derek Chauvin, we already had somebody come out, another black guy, and say Derek Chauvin shot at him years ago, tried to kill him. I think Derek has been doing a lot of things bad, making a lot of bad decisions as a police officer. And I think he's been getting away with a lot of activities, and that's another reason why we as a people is demanding that these officers, like these good officers that people always talk about, oh, there's good ones and there's bad ones, there's bad apples and there's good apples. Where is these good cops when we need them? Because a lot of times, 9 out of 10, when these other cops kill somebody or seriously injure somebody, they done something before and got off for it. Because didn't nobody even say nothing, or they got a slap on the wrist by their higher ups. And we never hear, the public never hear about it. Again, I bring back to our show that we did last week. I'm sure there are some good cops out there, but if you're a good cop out there and you allowing these bad cops to keep doing bad things to people, regardless if they committed a crime or if they didn't commit a crime, if they getting treatment from a cop that they shouldn't be getting, and you are supposedly a good cop who would never do anything like that to somebody, you're a bad cop if you don't say anything. So yeah, good cops speak up. That's how I feel. A good cop will speak up. But I know how it is. I know some cops, they won't speak up because they're like, oh, I don't want no bad, relationships with my co-workers, and I don't want to be out there on the beat and something pop off and bullets start flying and my partner, decides, oh, you got this. You got this. You on your own. You got this. So I know why officers don't do it. But again, like we were saying the other day, it needs to come from the top down, where people from the union down need to make sure cops feel comfortable with turning in bad cops. You shouldn't have to want to turn somebody in, but then don't want to do it because you can lose your position or your seniority, or, you might get one of those partners who put you out there by yourself where you could be possibly killed or injured because they don't have your back anymore because you're a snitch. So again, it needs to come from the top down. So again, as far as the Minneapolis issue, I just hope they get as much punishment as the law allows, because again, the community is at an unrest right now, and people are going to continue protesting and rioting. And like I said earlier, if these charges against these three, we don't know all the details right now. They could have brought charges on them for a multiple of reasons, including the riots, the protests, including something that even Derek Chauvin has said. More video footage, more witnesses. It could be from a lot of different things that led them to press charges on them. Besides the obvious, which was they allowed another police officer to kill somebody and then step in to help that man, to just give him, he just wanted to breathe. That's all he wanted. He just wanted to breathe. That's our God-given right, to breathe. So anyhow, y'all let me know how y'all feel about all this that's going on. One thing I wanted to say, as far as the guy who was killed here last Saturday night, there's a mural that actually was painted, and I'm going to try to find that mural right now because it was a beautiful mural. There was a protest Saturday here in Omaha, Nebraska. It was Saturday night, and some people was rioting, and an individual, a black guy, he happened to, they say he was looting, they say he was destroying property. We don't have any footage of that. But they said that's what he was doing. He was rioting. He was, I don't know. The guy who killed him was a bar owner. Well, he actually owns like a bar, a restaurant. He owns a lot of different things. And it was alleged that he had said before he even crossed that guy that if anybody comes down there and act like they're going to do something to their establishment or whatever, he got a gun, he will handle them. That's what it was alleged. It was also allegations that he was a racist, that he was a white supremacist, that, I don't know if that's the case or not. That's why I say alleged. Some people don't understand what alleged means. They automatically think you're calling somebody out on something, but I will again say allegedly. That's what people were saying. A lot of people was making a lot of posts on social media about this guy who killed the young black guy. But his family, I haven't talked to anybody close to him. I tried to reach out. I thought I was going to be able to speak to one of his close family members or friends or somebody who was actually there at the scene. I did post a video footage that we had, that somebody had took from downtown where the guy was killed. But the footage, actually, it was like the best footage that the police had, because the footage that the police tried to show us in a press conference, oh my God, it was so dark and grainy. They talking about the man in gray. Everybody looked like they had on gray. It was horrible. And there was no sound. But on the video that the guys who happened to stroll across the scene and was already recording before they even, started shooting and all that kind of stuff, they already had the camera, on the area. They actually had the best film and also had the sounds and everything. So, but instead of using that in the press conference, they use this grainy, bad, horrible footage from a restaurant nearby. The video footage from a restaurant nearby. You really have to be like really, really looking and paying attention, and might even have to slow it down in slow motion for you to see exactly what was going on. But anyway, they let the guy off. I heard the guy allegedly left town. I don't know if he really left town. I don't know if he's really coming back. I don't know if he's going to eventually open his business. Again, he has several businesses. I heard that the one he has downtown, that he was behind in his payments. So the owner of the property terminated his lease. So I guess he doesn't own the one, or he's not running the one downtown anymore. But again, He has other businesses, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But again, I want to send my condolences out to the family of James Scurlock, who was killed by Jake Gardner. The police said it was self-defense. A lot of people disagree, and a lot of people agree. But, you have to watch the tape yourself. You have to determine, how you feel about it. Again, a lot of people is on both sides of the issue. And, I just hope a lot of lives, I hope no more lives will be lost during these riots and during these rallies. I know they can get crazy. I know why they get crazy. A lot of people try to tell people how to protest. You can't tell nobody how to protest when they truly believe that somebody was murdered unjustly. And it keeps happening and happening and happening. And then for certain people, it's been happening for over 400 years, for decades, for centuries. And then you tell them how to protest. It's not about how to protest. It's about how to keep people from that point where they feel like they have to protest. And that's what it's all about. But anyway, I'm about to get up out of here. I have to run some errands before it gets too late. I do know, Omaha, that we are going to be back on curfew this weekend. Yes, this weekend, because there's supposed to be some more protests this weekend. We were on curfew for 72 hours. They did lift the curfew last night, but tomorrow is Friday. So because of the fact that there's going to be protests on Friday and Saturday, our mayor reinstates the curfew for Friday and Saturday. Our mayor, Jean Stothard, she has signed an emergency order reinstating a citywide curfew for Friday and Saturday nights, June 5th and 6th. The curfew will be on both nights from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. the following mornings. According to a release from the mayor's office, the curfew was recommended by Police Chief Todd Smatterer. The Omaha Police Department is aware of 5 events taking place Friday and a large gathering of 4,000 expected participants for Saturday. The release states, "This is unfortunate but necessary. We will continue to encourage and support peaceful protests, but we also must take proactive steps to reduce risk to everyone, the participants, the public, and the first responders." So on Thursday, our mayor, Jean Stothard, she met with members of the media to explain the reasoning behind reinstating the curfew, primarily the protection of people and property. Our number one responsibility, she says, is to keep citizens safe, and we felt we could not do so if we didn't put a curfew in place, she said. It does not restrict the number of people that can gather in a public place. It is only a curfew that starts at 10 p.m. instead of 8 p.m., so it is not as inconvenient as the other one. So I guess we can thank her, because last time it was 8 p.m. to 6 p.m., but we get 2 extra hours. So it's not until 10 p.m., till 6 a.m. the next morning. But yeah, they are trying to say that as far as the 5 big events that's supposed to be happening this weekend, they were being planned on social media. Stothard said the police department has been monitoring such activity closely and added one event sought to bring 50,000 protesters. But there's so many rumors, and she said, in her opinion, social media has gotten out of hand. Now, if we get 50,000 protesters, that's a lot of people in one spot for Omaha, Nebraska. So I don't know, that could be kind of, stretched. They could be exaggerating on the amount. I know the protest that I went to, it was a couple of thousand. I can't necessarily say how many it was, but it was a nice amount of people and a very peaceful protest. And I did post that in 4 different videos. I had parts 1 through 4. Because I think the protest was like about an hour and a half, close to 2 hours. So I did break it down into 4 parts and I did post it, but that was a peaceful protest. I was, glad to see us come together peacefully and have some discussions with some of the leaders and, in our city and some of the advocates in our city. So again, that was a really nice protest. And that was after, the guy here, James Scurlock, that was after he was killed by Jake Wagner in downtown Omaha. So again, you guys, please be safe out there. Be vigilant. Some people are out there tearing up property and they have nothing to do with nothing. There are people who come out of town to loot, rob, steal, tear up property. Then they blame it on the citizens that live in the community. So if y'all, just try to be vigilant. Just try to be vigilant. Try to be safe. I would really hate for anybody else to die because of this protest. I am so for the protest. I'm so for equality and fair treatment, especially when it comes to police officers. But we still have. I don't want nobody else's parent crying and having to bury somebody because they were killed during a protest. And if y'all saw the video that I posted a couple of days ago, the police is not playing. They is not playing. Them people. Curfew was at 8 p.m. Like I said, curfew was at 8 p.m. before. We get two extra hours this weekend. So it'll be at 10 p.m. this weekend. But it was at 8 p.m. And I posted a video. The police had everybody on the ground. Like everybody who was out there protesting after 8 p.m., they was on the ground. We saw police officers kicking people. And some of the comments on the video was like, why is that officer kicking them? Why is the officer kicking them? So, I just really hate what's going on. But again, I get it and I understand. If we don't stand up for something, we fall for everything. That's an old phrase, but it's really true. And we do have to stand up and we have to, make sure people treat us fairly and treat us right. The same way anybody wants to be treated. That old saying, treat somebody how you want to be treated. And it's just not fair that the people that we look up to protect and serve, who we're supposed to depend on, sometimes they get out of pocket. And again, I understand there's some good apples and some bad apples, but some of these good apples, if y'all so good, y'all need to start checking these bad apples, putting them on the spot, turning them in, talking about them. Stop being scared that you're going to lose your job. There's more jobs out there. There's more jobs out there. If you're a police officer and you're a good cop and you see these bad cops beating on people and doing all kind of stuff, and then 5-10 years later, they done murder somebody, and it probably wouldn't happen if they would have got stripped from their badge and gun years ago. You're not a good cop. You're just as bad as the man or the woman that's out there abusing people, abusing their rights with the shield and the badge. So a good cop, to me, wouldn't let a bad cop continue to do bad things to people. That's just me. But anyway, some people might see it differently. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the issues that's going on. Put it in the comments. After the video's over, feel free to post it in the comments below. Again, don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you want to join our The Hood Table Facebook group, please feel free to join the Hood Table Facebook group. But if you get out of pocket in there, you can easily be removed from the Facebook group. And if I think you're a troll or somebody who might not be a good fit for the group, you will not be added to the group. And of course, you do have to answer some of the questions that you once you hit the join button. There's a few house rule questions that you have to agree to before even being added to the group. There are some people who request to join the group every day and they don't answer the questions, and then I delete you, giving you another chance to try to join the group again, and hopefully you'll answer the questions the second time. But if you continue not to answer the questions or agree to the rules, then I will block you so that you can't even find the group anymore. I hate to do that. It's so simple. Just answer the few rules, say you agree to the few rules in the group and you can be added. But anyway, again, like, share, subscribe. Tomorrow we'll be live for Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll be live for Friday Night Live. No topics off limit, no holds barred, where we talk about any and everything that we want to talk about, any and everything that you want to talk about. So, and again, we can have up to 6 people on the screen with us. So you can either tune in and watch and comment in the chat if you like, or you can actually jump on the screen with us and you could be on the screen with us while we, having the show. So just let me know if you want to join us tomorrow night. Just comment down below in the comment section, or if you're already in our Facebook group, just let me know in the Facebook group that you want to join us tomorrow night and have some discussions for us. Real people do real talk. A lot of people want to be heard, but a lot of people don't want to have real conversations. So that's all what Friday Night Live is all about. So you can voice your opinions on any subject, any matter that might be going on, especially out in our community. So on that note, everybody, stay blessed, stay safe, be vigilant out there. Protest the right way, y'all. Protest the right way, and stay safe. Be blessed. Stay healthy, and I'm out. Deuces.